Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm richly blessed. Pray that you are as well. All right, we are doing another production breakdown. The last one we did was on a song called Because that I produced for my last full length album, Card Up in the Top. If you missed that, you want to go back and watch that. This week, we are looking at the production process, and I'll be talking through the production process for a song that I produced for Jeremy Wallace and EP called Towards Us. Really nice song with a really nice groove. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil what I'm going to show you inside of the session, but we're going to walk through that. I'm going to give you some tips on things you can do to keep people's interest in a production that is simple. Right? Everything is not going to or doesn't need to be crazy. I think one of the things that kind of is hurting music to in some extent is we have gotten away from the simplicity of music. Where if you think back to some of your favorite songs, if you think back to some of the biggest hits in music, if you really sit down and analyze them, the music was real simple. Sometimes it was no more than 4 chords that repeated throughout the whole song with maybe a bridge that took you somewhere else and brought you right back to those same 4 chords. If you think back to those old Motown songs, think the same bass up, boom, 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 doom, 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 boom, doom, same bass lines throughout the whole song. Doo 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 doo. You know the song right now. I don't even have to tell you what song it was. You know what song it is, right? So sometimes simplicity is good, but within simplicity or the framework of simplicity as a producer, I need to find ways to make things interesting, to keep your interest throughout. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video here. Now, I got to let you know, this type of content, I'll probably have maybe like one more production breakdown coming out that's just going to be available for everyone. But moving forward, this type of like long form, in-depth walkthrough content is going to be in the control room, right? So you're going to want to hit that join button, $1.99, right? It's $1.99. Hit that join button if you're interested in this type of content where we're really diving in and really going in depth, and I'm really talking in depth about my production process or mixing process or things like that. You're gonna find that kind of more long form content in the control room. I want to give you guys a taste of it to let you know, some of the things that's going to be there. If you're interested, you might want to click that join button, or you can head over to Patreon and you can join there as well, and you'll be able to see that type of content. All right. So we're going to get into the production breakdown right now. But before we do, you guys already know what day it is.
Production Tuesdays. Production Tuesdays. Fast on the track like I'm running laps. Yeah. Production Tuesday. Production Tuesdays.
Music.
All right, guys, so here we are inside of the production session for Toward Us. Like I said, I like to have you guys in the production session. This is not the mix. If you want to hear the full mix and full master of this song as released, you can click the link down in the description of the video to be able to do that. But I like to, since this is a production breakdown, I like to take you into the actual raw production session. Now, for full transparency, I do have 3 stems in here. Obviously, I have the vocal stems in here from the mix. I did pull in the guitar stems from the mix because there's really nothing to show in there production-wise. It's different actual guitar takes. And then I actually pulled in the drum, the live drum or live-ish. I played them, but it's the live-ish drums from the mix as well. And the reason I did that is because I'm using Native Instruments Studio Drummer, and sometimes it does a weird thing where it cuts off the sample for the cymbals sometimes, and it can just take up some memory. So I didn't want to worry about that. So I pulled in the stem from the mix for the live drums. But other than those 3 things, everything else here, this is just a raw MIDI production. Now, Here's the challenge with this song. This is why I chose this song for a breakdown, other than the fact that I just really like it, is this is a very repetitive song musically. Once you hear the chord progression, it doesn't change. It's literally the same chord progression throughout the whole song. Even in the drive of the song towards the end, it might seem like the chord progression changes. It really doesn't. Just the aggressiveness of the song does, right? So as a producer, and I co-produced this with Jeremy Wallace. And the way that we typically work together is he will typically produce the vocals. So he recorded all the vocals, handled all the vocal recordings and stuff, lead and backgrounds down in Alabama where he was. He did all the vocal arrangements, and then I did the music. He originally sent me, because he wrote the song, or him and some of the singers wrote the song, but probably he wrote it. He sent me just the raw, just piano, somebody playing the piano. It might have been him, and the vocal as he was teaching the song. And then I built all of the musical production based on that. All right. So when you get something like that, as a producer, right, my job is to take it to the next level, right? And one of the things that you have to do with a song that's repetitive like that is figure out ways to make the song interesting. How do I make this song that's the same chord progression throughout the whole song? How do I take that and make it an interesting journey and experience throughout? And this is not a new phenomenon. Some of the greatest songs you've ever heard, some of the biggest hits you've ever heard, are literally the same chord progression, the same 4 chords or whatever number of chords over and over and over again throughout the song. But the producer was able to make things interesting in such a way that you probably don't even notice it until you sit down and really listen, like, wait a minute, this is the same thing over and over, right? So I want to kind of walk through this and kind of talk about some of the different things we did to make this more interesting throughout. All right, so here we go. I'm going to mute the vocals. I'll bring them in at different times. So here's our intro. That's the chord progression. Right? That's the chord progression. That's the whole song. So this chord progression right here, let's zoom in on this so I can see where this actually starts. This chord progression right here. That's the whole song. So we got to take that and make it interesting, right? So the first way I did that was, so originally when he sent it to me, it was just on piano. So the first thing was, all right, let's find a nice cool sound to use. So this is the main patch that's happening. This is chill keys. This is right from Alchemy. So this is a nice stock production sound. And again, with these, I have nothing to hide, right? Pause the video, take a screenshot. You can play around with these settings, right? Keys layered. This is a Bird Song is the actual name of the patch, and I'm on the dark soft keys setting. That's what that is. All right. All right, so let's keep going. Ronique Young on guitar again. All right, so the first thing that we've done here is we've established a base, all right? And what I want, you got to think about, remember, when you're producing, what do I want people to do physically when they hear this track? What do I want them to do? And what I want you to do is exactly what you saw me doing. Once you get in that pocket, I want you right in there. I want that head doing this. I want your body, this is what I want. And so find that place, find that baseline. Now we're going to build from that baseline, but then we can always come back to right here. That's what I want you doing. So we're not going to do too much that's going to take you away from that. And if we come away from that, we're coming right back to we're coming right back to it. That's our baseline, right? So now we can build on it. Bring in the baseline. Bring in the pad. So one of the ways you can make things more interesting, especially as you're playing, so this chill keys is not going to change. I just looped that throughout. You can look at the MIDI and see it's the same pattern. I just looped that. But then with our other instruments, so I have a Rhodes here right now doing that. We can do other little embellishments and other little things, right, at certain points so that it stands out. So if we listen through this again, you'll hear the Rhodes kind of doing a couple of interesting things. Right there. Right? We just want to do little stuff here and there that makes people go, oh, you know. All right. And then the guitar, of course, is going to do that as well. All right, so here we're going into the chorus. Transition effects. Y'all know I love a transition, right? So going into the chorus, got nice little transition effects happening right here. Let's move it up a little bit. Nice. So that's a little chime thing. I don't know where I found that at, but I use that. And then this. Nice little air sweep. Again, this is coming from Alchemy. Alchemy literally has a transition section, right? Go in there. This patch is called End Game, right? So we're transitioning. We're going into the bridge. Let me play a little bit with the vocal so you can hear how that's sounding.
Be glorified me, was blind but now I see. So grateful you set me free. You're the matchless king and I love you. And for the rest of my days I will live.
So couple things there, couple tips for you, right? So one, just musically, we're adding some stuff, right? We're building, right? So we add a piano. Again, piano sitting up top, same chord progression, but piano's going to veer off, do some other things. One of the things that you can do is, and you'll hear me do this a lot, especially in the next two verses coming up. One of the things we can do is have instruments and sounds that are playing on the melody. So I've got this lead here that's literally following the melody. The singer's going, I will lift my voice and sing. I'm a little hoarse, so excuse the vocals. The melody, the lead is doing the same thing. Right here. Right, so it's playing with the vocal, right? It's playing with the vocal.
I will lift my voice and sing.
Right here. Right? So we can play off of the vocal, have little sounds doing that. That's pretty cool. All right, so we built on that. We added to the drums as well, right? So again, we're building, right? So coming out of the first verse. What are we doing? We're adding a little bit of movement, right? All I added was a shaker and a percussion, right? So all we added was this little shaker and percussion. What's that create? Move, a little bit of movement. But where am I at? I'm still here though. I'm still the people listening. I'm not doing stuff to take them out of that. They're locked into they're grooving. That's what I want. Then we got a water drip in here. Hey guys, Ed McCrae here, and I just wanted to take a moment to let you know that memberships are now available both on this YouTube channel and in my Patreon for what I like to call control room content. And you might say, well, Ed, what is control room content and what kind of perks can I expect to get as a member? Well, firstly, you're going to get early access to any videos that I release. And then secondly, you're going to get control room members only content posted each month where I get to take you into the control room, right? That's where the action is. So I get to show you more long form videos, more uncut or lightly edited behind the scenes footage of me working through MIDI production, instrumental tracking, vocal tracking, mixing, mastering, all the different things that go on in the control room, right? And so it's gonna be really great. And so you might say, well, Ed, how do I do this? How do I join and become a member and get into the control room? Well, if you want to become a member here on this YouTube channel, just click the join button that's right below this video. If you prefer to join over on Patreon, you can go into the description of this video and click the link that will allow you to do just that. Go ahead and do that right now, and I'm going to see you in the control room. Oh, I reversed it. All right, so again, interesting stuff happening. All right, then going into the second verse, what are we gonna do? We're gonna drop off. Right, we have same air sweep that brought us into the chorus. We're gonna use it to take us out of the chorus. Got a little repeat lead here that I like to do. Right, that's taking us out. Got a little bell happening here. I don't know what this, I think this is also a built-in patch from Sampler, I think. Beach bells, right? So we're dropping off, and then so here's another nice technique you can use, right? Coming into the second verse, we're gonna drop the drums out. We're gonna drop them out, watch. Oh, they're right back in, right? I'm gonna turn the vocals on, see? All right, so the lyrics said, in my darkness, you shine the bright light. Let's have an effect that plays off of that, right? So we got our bell. Two notes, right? She plays off that lyric. Drop out.
This is exactly how I'm feeling. I decided to give up my will for yours and let
watch the music.
This empty space, Lord, lead the way and make me more like you.
Right, again, what are we doing? We're playing off of the lyrics, but playing off of the melody, right? So first of all, this empty space, right? Watch the piano.
This empty space.
Right? Ba 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 ba. Something interesting. Oh, that's nice. That's interesting. Right? Then make me more like you.
Make me more like you.
Right, got this nice little retro lead situation happening. Right, that is 3 leads here. This is, I'm using something from Contact for this. This is Contact Retro Machines Pro Lead 2. Again, if you got this, take a screenshot. I'll pause the video, take a screenshot. Contact Retro Machines Pro Lead 2, right? So little stuff like that is interesting, right? It's interesting.
Make me more like you. Be glorified.
Same thing here.
Was blind, but now I see. So grateful you set me free. You're the matchless king, and I love you. And for the rest of my days, I will live.
Right, nice transition. So on this one, I had a Ronique play off of the
Blind, but now I see.
Blind, but now I see. Sorry, I forgot the lyric that quick. Right.
Glorify me.
Right? Interesting.
Glorify me.
Back to the chorus. Now the piano's in on the chorus. Again, interesting stuff. I don't know why I did that little passing chord there. It probably happened by mistake, to be honest with you. A lot of stuff with me happens by mistake. And it's like, oh, that's nice. Let's keep that. Yep, I meant to do that, right? So let's go back to that. It works. We haven't changed the chord progression. Same thing, but now it's just more aggressive. So now you've gone from more of a kind of a bop. Now you're in. Now we doing this, right? Same thing, but just a little bit more aggressive now. Now what we've done in here, a couple things. One, we have a synth brass working in here now. This is a combination of 3 different synth brasses. What do we have here? I don't even know what this is. This is, I believe, a sample from the motif. Is it? Oh no, this is just a regular synth brass that's built in to Logic. And then we've got a synth brass from here, and then this is a custom synth brass from Alchemy that I did some changes to. This is brass and funky, right? So we layered 3 of them together, make it nice and big. We have added a bass. So we had just a regular sub bass here, synth bass, right? So we get to the bridge, and now we add in, right? We add in a buzz bass. And I have that EQ'd where I'm really just grabbing the kind of the top part, the buzzy part of the bass. I don't need the bottom, right? The other bass is handling that. All right, but just grabbing that part right there. This is from Anna. This is the 3 oscillator glide, right? So that's happening there to make things more aggressive. Drum wise, we've added in a big clap. And a stomp clap. So put all that together. Our rhythm section now sounds like. Right, so same rhythm, we're adding aggression to it, right? And then obviously, of course, our guitars are going to town on the distortion. Same chord progression, guys. It's the same chord progression. I think I didn't loop that part, though. I think I replayed that just to be straight, so it didn't have that little movement on it. But same chord progression. It hasn't changed, guys. We can add little things to make things more interesting, where unless I'm telling you or you're really analyzing it, you don't know that it's the same couple chords. Enhancing that lyrical part. Now we're gonna drop off back to the groove. Oh, now we're back here. Hey. See, we always have a place to come back to. Once we establish that bass, we can always come back to it. Now we're going to introduce some elements back to our rhythm section. Hey. Put that stomp and clap in there. Now, up to this point, that stomp and clap has not been in there as a part of this bass, right? So now this is, what's that? That's new. That we haven't heard that yet before, right? We're adding interesting things throughout, giving people something they have not yet heard before in the song. Little subtle things, right? Because we don't want to be too drastic to take them out of that groove, right? I want you right here with it, all right? The vocals are smooth. We want that foundation right up under those vocals. And we're going to build back up to the bridge. All right. Got a little bit of a different transition here. A couple of things happening here. We've got this. Right, kind of like a little riser effect. This is, again, coming from Alchemy. This, again, sound effects, transitions. This is huge ambient drum wash, which is literally what that is, right? So we throw that in there. We throw this slide in there. I thought that was going to be more than that, but whatever that was doing, that's in there. Our air sweep is back. All that stuff is happening. We did that before. Yeah, I showed you that already. Now we've got this war drum effect that I've picked up at some point in life. Whew. Right, so put all that together. God said, Ronique, go for it, man. Solo a little bit, right? So we got that going on. Woo. Back to our bass. Back to our bass. Outro. Let the guitar do a little bit. Then on the actual mix, we fade out, right? So those are some things we can do to take a repetitive song. Again, this has been the same looped chords throughout the whole song, but there's so much interesting things going on. And then when you add the vocals and all the stuff on top of that going on, you're not even going to notice, right? But production-wise, what do we want to do? We want to establish our base, right? I want to get you where I want you to be, right? So we figure that out, and then we can add embellishments. We can play off of things that are happening vocally in the song, have different things happening with that. We can add aggression. We can drop stuff out. We can bring stuff back, right? Little interesting things we can do. We can add transitions, all interesting things we could do. Once we've established that base, we can always bring you right back to that base. And that's what we want to do. All right, I hope that you guys like that. I hope you like the song. Click the link in the description if you want to hear the full mixed and mastered version of that song by Jeremy Wallace and EP. Go ahead and click on that link and you can go ahead and hear that. I hope that some of those tips, if you're a producer watching this, I hope that you were able to glean something from some of those tips. And remember, this type of content is going to be in the control room, right? So you want to hit that join button so that you can have access to that type of content. If you have questions, thoughts, throw those things in the comment section. You know, I always appreciate your comments. I love going back and forth with you guys. Even if I just put a little heart on your comment, right? I read every comment that comes through. You guys have been amazing, and I appreciate your support. Feel free to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more content. All right, see you guys again soon. Peace. Thanks for watching. Hey, here's some other content you might want to check out. Just a suggestion, no pressure. Feel free to watch whatever you want on the channel. Also, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? That way you can be notified when new videos are coming out. And feel free to hit that join button too for members only content in the control room. See you next time.